Okay, guys, so we're now live, and I've got Dave Demille here, and he has brought out a new book on the essentials of survival skills, which I've had the pleasure of reading as a sort of a pre-launch review, and I found it pretty interesting. So I thought it might be nice to share a bit of information with you guys, and hopefully hey, you maybe get something out of it yourself. So anyway, I'll introduce Dave, and he can have a say hello, and we'll go from there. Over to you, Dave.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Dave Demille, and I just want to thank Carl for this opportunity to share my experience in my book, and so I appreciate it.
No problem, right? So, I mean, obviously, the essential survival skills sort of gives us an indication of what it's about. So, how long have you been interested in the world of survival and all that type of information?
Well, I've been interested in it for my whole life. When I was growing up, I was in the Boy Scouts, so we were always going out and camping in the woods. And I took a trip up to Canada where we essentially, for about 8 days, we packed all our food and went out in the wilderness and just survived with what we could carry with us. But I didn't really get into teaching it until I had a wife and kid, and because prior to that, I spent over 10 years in the Army, and my own bringing. I kind of knew how to survive on my own. So my survival plan as a single male was to just grab a knife and a bottle and head out in the woods, and I was comfortable with what I could survive on my own. But then um, really we were watching Doomsday Preppers. I don't know if they have that all over the world, but I was watching that with my wife, and we were talking about, okay, what would we do if such and such happened? And I told her, well, we'll just grab a knife, go out in the woods, and we'll be all right. And she's like, no, 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 it's not that easy. So I realized that a lot of the survival skills that I took for granted, they weren't common knowledge. So
Yeah, yeah.
really, when I realized that, with me being in the Army, the chances of a disaster happening when I was away was about 30 to 50%. So if something happened while I was there, I was confident that I could take care of my family. But if I was gone, then you know they didn't have the knowledge or skills or equipment to really take care of themselves. So that's when I started teaching my family. And then when I was teaching my family, mostly my wife and then my son, he was 6 years old. He thought it was just, a little adventure, but I would teach him little things. But then I realized that a lot of people in my extended family and her family and friends didn't know basic survival skills. So
Right.
I started putting together little videos and products to teach them. And then that kind of gave me the idea, well, let me put something together that can help. I'm not gearing this towards the survivalist that can go out there and live 2 weeks on their own. I'm gearing this towards the everyday person that they know it's important, but they don't necessarily have the skills or the money to really invest a lot of time. So that's really where I'm focusing my products towards.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And like you say, I mean, some of the guys they spend an awful lot of money on it, don't they? Like you say, the full-on
Yeah,
survivalists and things like that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I call that a lot of cool guy gear.
Right.
People,
Yeah,
it's real shiny and fancy, but and I saw it in the Army. People would spend $80 to $100 on a piece of gear, and it would break,
all
within
right.
the
Okay.
first few days. So then, you go back to the simple stuff that works just as well. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, what would be your? I mean, if you were to say, you was talking to someone who didn't have a clue about what
uh
would be the most essential item that you'd say, guys, you've got to. This would be your one thing that you would have to take, no matter what it was, if you know what I mean.
well, I don't know if you could narrow it down to one item, but I think your mind is the most important survival tool you have. It's
Right.
just, you don't know, you can't necessarily know every skill for every situation, but an adaptable mind is by far the most important survival tool that you can have.
Okay,
So,
fair enough. And is that something when you say that? Do you mean, I suppose, calm, being, you know what I mean? Is that what you mean by that, or is it more you can work out a problem, or probably being calm helps you work out a problem. I don't know.
Yeah, that's important, but also just being able to assess the situation, and
Right.
then look at what you have, or what's in your surroundings, and tailor that and use those, maybe unconventional tools to, you know, fix an issue. Because, in your situation, you might be short of water. Well, you could use stuff from your surroundings to collect water and then filter it and make it drinkable,
Yeah.
So,
Actually, I've written that down on my thing here.
uh,
Obviously, I was saying before how I read the book as a pre-launch thing, but the thing, the homemade water bottle purifier that you were
yeah.
talking about was like a really interesting idea. I like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and you
Yeah.
you don't if you don't have a plastic bottle, you can make one. I was playing around with a trash bag, and I made a water filter out of a trash bag that works just as well.
All
So,
right. Okay. Cool.
but go back to your earlier question. I would say the most important tool, like physical product, is a good multi-tool. Like it's something that'll have a knife, pliers, a lot of tools in one.
Yeah. 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 Which I
So,
suppose makes sense. You
yeah.
need some of them are not that strong though, aren't they? I mean, we over here in Oz we have Leatherman, which are
Right.
yeah, quite a good brand. Yeah, I don't
Hmm.
know them, but
Yeah,
whether the
Leatherman, Gerbers are good.
yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, cool, cool. So your products out already now, and people can get a look at it. Is it anywhere specific on the web? Have you got like a web address for it or anything like that at the moment?
Yeah, it's essentialsurvivalskills.com
Okay.
is where they can go and purchase it. I've actually got two products out. Essential Survival Skills, that one just teaches the basic survival skills. It goes through uh, building a shelter, making water drinkable, foraging for food, some first aid hygiene, and basics of building a fire. And then the other one is building a 72-hour kit. But I specifically make it to where it's as affordable and easy to make as possible. So,
Yeah, yeah, and what just sort of things you can pick up pretty much from the local supermarket,
yeah,
or is it
exactly.
okay? Fair enough.
Yeah,
All right. Okay, good stuff. All right. So what was it again? Essentialsurvivalskills.com. Yeah.
yeah, that's correct.
All right. Cool. I must admit, I've not actually had a look at the website, so I might have a flick through. Have you got any videos on there or anything?
No, I'm looking to do videos. I really wanted to get the product out there first,
Yeah.
just so it was out there, and then I plan on doing videos and kind of seeing what the audience wants before I get into much deeper. People might not want videos, or I'm kind of seeing what people want, and then I'll start producing that next.
Yeah, no, that's probably wise anyway, isn't it? You get yourself on a tangent and do
Right.
several months of work, and then, oh no, we didn't want that. All right,
Yeah.
okay. So,
It's
yeah.
like an analogy I once heard is you spend all your time climbing a ladder and then you realize you had it on the wrong wall. So I don't want
Yeah.
to get into that.
Oh, well, no, that's fair enough. I wouldn't mind seeing a video of how you make your little your water purifying bottle. Anyway, that'd be an interesting video, I think, for me. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can do that. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Oh well, that's good, mate. Well, I will put a link to your website on this video, and I'll also put a link to the product as well on this video, and yeah, hopefully people will take a look at it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, cool. All right. So, oh, sorry, mate, we didn't actually ask what the I suppose the going price is and things like that for people if they're interested in having a look.
Yeah, right now it's $7, but I could have charged a lot more than that, but I tried to bring the price down as much as I could just to make it available for as many people as possible.
Right. Okay. $7 is pretty reasonable. That's for sure.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Cool. All right, mate. I'll tell you what. I'll stop the recording, and we can actually carry on just having a chat. I'll just hit the stop record button now.